Hello, crafty friends, it's Debbie. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I am participating in the Team Tiny May 2023 hop, where our theme this month is to create a wedding or special occasion card. And since I didn't have any weddings coming up, but I do have a graduate in the family this year, I wanted to make a graduation card. So I'm again using this new beautiful balloons set that I love, and that acetate paper that I just showed you came in the suite. So I made my last card with the gold side, and this time I'm going to flip that acetate over and use the silver side. So I've just got my frame cut out here from the stitched rectangle set from Stampin' Up. And then I took the largest die from that and cut out a matching piece of the acetate paper with the stars and the confetti on it to make my shaker frame. Well, no, the black piece is my frame. This is going to be my shaker front. I like that confetti on the front. So the first thing I'm going to do is just glue that frame down there. And then that is going to start us off with, this was just simple die cutting, you guys. 2 dies, and so this is going to create our shaker front. So then I'm just going to take out my Stamparatus here, and I'm going to put a blank sheet of paper here because that streamer stamp is a little bit long, but I want to go all the way across, and I just don't want to get all of that on my mat and have to clean all of it up. So you don't have to do that part. I'm just sticking that blank sheet of paper underneath there. So now, since I'm using silver this time, I want to clean that off, and then I want to do another streamer, but this time I am going to emboss it with some silver embossing powder. Now, I am going to try not to get embossing powder on that black piece because I learned when I made the other card that black ink, even though it's dry, it's still, the embossing powder will stick to it. So I'm going to try to keep them, and even if I did get it on there, I could still brush it off, and you'll see. But I'm going to use my Versamark and just go ahead and do another one of those streamers, and I'm just going to do that a couple of times just to make sure that I have enough of the Versamark on there to get the embossing powder. I want it to be kind of heavy because I want that silver to really show up. And then I'll just sprinkle my embossing powder on there. And you can see I got a really good image. But see, I have a little bit of stray pieces. I'm just going to take just a dry brush and just brush that away, and it'll be fine. So I will take this to my, and heat set it with my heat gun. And there we go. Shiny silver. And so now I'm just going to overlay this frame and just kind of see where everything's going to line up and where it's going to fall. And I decide I want one more streamer on there, at least a short one, and I'm going to do that one in the black. So I'm just going to flip it around just so I'm not working so close to that edge, because when you get up close to the edge of any platform, you know, you just kind of have a hard time getting a good crisp image. But so far this streamer one is it's really doing well on getting a clear image, so I'm liking that. So I'm just going to clean that off, and then we will move on to the balloons. Now I went ahead and die cut these out. I die cut the large balloon in the black and the small one in the white. And I'm just going to pull the Stamparatus back out with another plate. I already had this placed on there, but I forgot to mark where I was going to put these, so I have to reposition them again. So I'm just going to pull out that sheet of blank paper again just to catch any of the added little dots, because I'm going to use this little confetti stamp on both balloons because I want to put the silver confetti on the black and the white just so I can kind of layer those up. And while I'm doing this piece, just want to talk a little bit about Team Tiny. Team Tiny is a group of YouTubers. We're in a Facebook group called Team Tiny, and every month there's a theme, and YouTubers can choose to participate, but everyone in Team Tiny is under 1,000 subscribers. I'm well below that. And once you reach 1,000, then you move on, you know, I guess on to bigger and better things. But it's just a really fun group, and everyone's encouraged to support smaller channels, and so that's what we try to do. And every month there's a theme. So hit that hashtag on this video, and please visit all the other YouTubers and creators in this hop, because I'm telling you, there are some really great ones. And some of the smaller channels are just, I love the smaller channels. You don't have to worry about the ads, and you do get to really meet some new creative YouTubers that you maybe might not have seen before. So some will be giving away prizes, so please leave a comment, share, and hit the like button. I will be doing a giveaway on this video. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but please leave a comment because I will draw a week after this post. This is posting on May the 20th, and so the following Saturday I'll do a drawing for some prize. So if you'd like to be eligible for that, go ahead and leave a comment. So back to the card, I've got my balloons, got my little confetti on there, and I've heat embossed that, and I think that looks so pretty. I tried this with just black ink, but you guys, I let it dry for the longest, and it's still, the embossing powder stuck to it. So if you're ever wondering if embossing powder sticks to the VersaFine ink, it definitely does. So here I'm just going to go ahead and stamp out my greeting for the front of the card. This is the same greeting I used on the gold card. I just really liked this one. I'll probably change up the inside of it. I'll show you that when we do the photos. But you'll see some photos at the end of both cards. And I'm just going to hand trim this. I decided not to get my trimmer out. This is a pretty straight greeting, so it's not that hard to cut out with the big scissors. And I had those white and black scraps just kind of sitting there. So just pulling out my scraps, and I'm just going to put a thin black mat around this. And you can see I've got my black and white string there because I'm going to use that for my balloon strings. Now there is a balloon string stamp in this set, but I just thought that black and white string was really pretty. So now we're gonna glue these balloons down, and I'm just kind of keep placing that over my white panel just to make sure I've got it in the right spot, because the last one I did, I felt like I kind of covered up some of my stamping with my outer elements on top of the acetate. And some of those stars that are already in the acetate were kind of covering up one of my little sentiments. So I'm just kind of, you'll see me go back and forth, just making sure it's in the right spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue down this string. I already put the glue on, and then this one's going to go behind the black one, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Now normally you would probably go ahead and fill your shaker, but I didn't want to do all this pressing on the acetate once I get my foam tape on there, so I decided to go ahead and do this piece first because this card is not going to go through the mail. It's going to be hand delivered, and so I'm getting ready to glue this black balloon straight down, and then I decided, nope, I'm going to add some more dimension to this because it's not going through the mail. I don't have to worry about postage, and I'm just going to load this card up with dimension. I just think it's so pretty. It's going to have a ton of dimension, probably not one you'd want to make to go through the mail unless it was a really special occasion, because you'd definitely be paying some extra postage on it. But so I'm going to go ahead and pop up that second balloon, and then I'll pull those strings kind of together. But we'll go ahead and get our shaker part going here. Now here's where I decided I do want to go ahead and do some more stamping on the white panel, because there are a couple of cute little stamps in this set that just are, you know, just congratulatory things. So I'm kind of placing it there, and this one says, yay, you did it. No, it just says you did it. There's another one that says yay, and I'll probably use that one on the inside. And you know, I started to go ahead and put a few little decorative elements stamped on here, but once we get those shaker bits on here, we're really not going to need that. So I left it more white just to not have all that focus on too much of the background, because I want those shaker bits to be really seen. So now I'm going to take my thin foam strips from Stampin' Up. I really love these strips. They're very thin, and they're just perfect for shakers or any kind of like little thin elements that you want to pop up. And when you do this part, just make sure you get those right up next to each other so that you don't get any, I guess, spilling out of your shaker elements. And you just want to make sure you get those strips on there, just butt them up against each other all the way around so that nothing comes falling out. So I'm just going to get those adhered, and then once I do, I will take my anti-static tool and just kind of go around those edges after I peel off the release paper. And these scissors I'm using are those Fiskars think they're called non-stick, and they really do. They're great for sticky things like cutting foam tape or anything with adhesive on it. It doesn't stick to your scissors and make a mess. Now, I didn't have any silver shaker bits, so I chose these iridescent ones. And then my little, I guess I didn't realize I was so low on silver and black bits to go in my shaker cards. So I didn't have any more of the cute little black squares, but I found these little black hearts. And so I'm just going to mix those in with the little iridescent sequins. And if you've done shaker cards before, you know that sequins can sometimes get a little staticky. And so after I pull off this release paper, that's why I'm going around those edges. 2 reasons, actually, just to kind of make sure the inside edges are not too sticky to where the shaker bits will stick to them, and also to help take care of some of that static. And then I will go ahead and go around the outside with some liquid glue, and the reason for that is just so that I can get a little bit of movement in case I don't get my shaker window down exactly straight, which if you all know me, I rarely get it real straight. And then I was glad I did, because I decided to move it over a little bit to one side, because I just barely want a little bit of that white showing, because this is going to go on a black card base. And so I want to make sure I've got a little bit of white showing. And as you can see, I set my larger block on there just for a few minutes, just to make sure everything's, sealed down real well. The glue dries really fast, but I just wanted to make sure. And I will trim off that outer edge there that you see where it's a little bit thicker on one side. But I just want to take my balloon strings and kind of get them underneath this greeting strip and stick that down. And I'm going to pop that up as well. And I'm just loving the way these cards are turning out, you guys. And this is probably one of the easiest shaker cards I believe I've ever done. There just wasn't a whole lot to it. And I think this set just makes it so easy. There's just not a lot to it. I just think it turned out so cute. So I'm going to go ahead and snip off that string and get that glued to my card front. And that is our card, you all. So now we have a gold one and a silver one. So please be sure, again, and hit that hashtag and check out everybody in the hop. I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with. We don't see them ourselves until it's the day of the hop. So I'm always excited to see what kind of cards that other creators come up with. So I think you'll really enjoy it. And plus, again, there may be prizes. There's going to be a prize on this channel, so be sure and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this, and I hope that you liked it. And if you get this set and make a card with it, I'd really love to see it. Now, I started to go ahead and do the inside of the card here, but I decided that I would just do that later, and I'll show you those in the photos. Again, here's the set I'm using, and I may use that little confetti on the inside of the card a little bit, and put some sentiments in there as well. I have 2 grandsons graduating this year, so I'm excited. So each of them's going to get a card, and now I've got those finished. So there you go. There are cards for the day, you guys. I hope you like these. I hope you'll give them a try. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel, and happy stamping, everyone.